Welcome to June and 29th Zoom training. This is my low energy. All right, so I've seen some really cool testimonies, and we added some to the email that went out. If you didn't get the email, contact your club coach, club manager, coach. Shoot me a private message. We get to find out where these emails are and how you can get some of that information. So what's going next? Hi, Sarah. I just snuck over and I saw her pop up for a little bit. There she is. So the what now, Esteban? So I've seen a couple of posts. What do we do now? Now you get to create whatever you want based on the information that you've learned. The last 14 days, if you started the custom plan, that was a gut-centric meal plan that was designed time sequence-wise, food-wise, for blood sugar detox, complete detox, gut healing, hunger hormone stabilizing, and we saw some drastic results within these last 14 days. So congratulations for those of you guys that participated. If you didn't, I highly encourage you getting on the email, click the link to activate the 14-day gut-centric meal plan, and you can follow that. Now we go back to the .fit portal, and you get to exchange of food. So the big things now are, how do I maintain and how do I stay within my calories? If you have not activated your tracker, activate your tracker. So we've got video links on that. Last week we also had Rob Retman, who is the Vice President of Education from .fit. He did a private Zoom for us, close to an hour at 7 p.m. last week. So I'll be posting that video, sending it out in an email this week. I'll probably put it on every email so we can see what he coached us on. So the objective over the next 14 days is you get to put it all into practice, which you've learned in these first 21 days. And we'll be getting some emails throughout the week, and it's more on the mindset coaching. We've done the science. We followed a meal plan. We followed some calories. We followed some macronutrient mix. We followed some cabbage type salad, and we've experienced phenomenal results. Now, how do I put it all on my own? So here's where we get to identify. I didn't because, so it's identifying, and I put that on Facebook, and I'll send it out on an email. What are the words that are coming out of my mouth that are barriers, that are showing the programming that I have inside? So what's next is going to be the additional mindset coaching. Identifying how many calories am I burning. So do your fit tracker. That's going to be key. What am I burning versus what am I stating that I'm eating? And I place it that way because I could eat a whole pizza and say it's only 300 calories when it's really 2,500 calories. So based on my tracker and the weight, because I'm weighing myself daily, reminder, weigh yourself daily. And I get to identify, am I growing, am I staying the same, or am I shrinking? So that's where I can identify with my tracker. Am I consuming more than what I'm moving, or am I consuming less than what I'm doing? With that, July 4th is coming up. By wave of hands, do any of you normally eat differently when you're around a bunch of people on July 4th? Thank you for those of you guys that are playing the game. So a lot of us typically would eat more of something. Hot dogs, hamburgers, corn dog. What else? That's it. Thank you.
Cookies.
Oh, I forgot about the cookies. All kinds of cookies. And we only drink
salad.
Pasta salad. There's a good one. Just like, what am I going to take? We only drink water, right? For July 4th? I'm seeing some faces. I love this part. We support the big Budweiser company here in Columbus, Ohio. All the employees that are saying thank you for your investment. But what we get to do now is before July 4th, if you choose to stay on plan, if you don't choose to stay on plan, you chose not to. It's July 4th. If you choose to stay on plan, log it in. Go into your .fit account. Pre-log it in July 4th. I anticipate to drink this many Coronas, Budweisers, Coors, whatever the case is. A case. I didn't even plan on that one. And the foods that you want to eat. And if you want to stay within the calories, you get to identify, okay, what's my max? How many burgers, hot dogs, pasta salads, cookies, beers can I eat? And you can play the game. You add something, you take something away, and you stay within your caloric allotment. Or, in all reality, make up for it within 72 hours. If you go over by 500 or 1,000 calories on July 4th, you have the next 48 to 72 hours to make up for that. So those are the two options that we've got. Stick to the plan, log it in, or make up for it over the next 48 to 72 hours. If you identified that if I go off track, it's done, I'm over with, don't go off track. Plan for it and stay within your caloric allotment. Daily mindset goals, we'll be posting it on Facebook, and I'll be sending emails every other day for homework. Number one is gratitude. When we step into gratitude, we are not in the victim mode. Our fight or flight actually is suppressed with that. So if we want to make wiser choices, literally go into gratitude. Today I'm grateful for, you fill in the blank. And what I posted yesterday, we're going to go through this the entire week, is watch the words that are coming out of your mouth. So we're able to identify what my thoughts are and what my beliefs are by doing so. So we'll be able to do some slight shifting day by day on that. That's where I get to stop right now. We're following the .fit protocol. Write in what we're going to do for July 4th. And post your daily gratitude and what you're noticing with your words. All right, question time. Where's Olivia? Olivia, do your thing.
So I want to just double check. So this, because I know with the 14-day gut meal plan, we were kind of under the calorie intake that we were supposed to be taking in. So I want to double check that when we did this plan, the calorie intake and then like our deficits, that's what we should be meeting now, right?
Correct. Yeah. Yes. Great question. The gut centric one was probably lower than most of ours. So that's designed to be a fast jumpstart. As many of us noticed, I see Hannah up there. It looks like she's on the elliptical. So she had massive transformation in 2 weeks. Michelle down, I just saw her moving right there. Wave, Michelle. She posts some awesome pictures. Michelle, what was your first 2 weeks change?
I want to say, I don't know, at least 9 to 12 pounds. I forget exactly. This is week 6 for me.
First week was 12 pounds. Thanks for remembering. So Olivia, that was designed to be a fast jumpstart. Now, the .fit that we created was over 8 weeks, so the calories might be higher for most of us, and that's going to be the objective the next 14 days is how can I do this long term? How can I make a shift? If I do have a hamburger or pizza on a weekly basis, how can I still have that pizza and be below my caloric allotment for today? And here's where that meal replacement is going to be such a huge, powerful tool for you. Having that meal replacement midday and post-dinner like we did over these last 14 days, Olivia, would be a massive tool. Great question. What's the next question?
So this one I've struggled with a little bit the last couple weeks. So I lost 10 pounds in the first 12 days. And then I kind of gained a little bit of it back. And I think for me, I struggled because the days 4 through 6, I couldn't keep the chicken broth down. I just couldn't eat it. So I feel like I missed that blood sugar detox, and it kind of set me back a little bit, which is why I'm kind of I'm eating a little bit of what I want, but also sticking to the meal plan. So I wasn't sure if you had any guidance on where to go so I can get back almost to where everyone else is at, so I can keep with a meal plan and not stick too far from it. Because at that point I was just okay, I can't eat the chicken broth, let me have a salad today. So it was kind of not.
And that's okay. I mean, we can do blood sugar detox eating solid foods. I created it with liquid because it's wiser for us to put it together. Our number one choice globally for a food option is convenience. So if I literally grab something, unscrew it, and drink it, it's easier for me to consume something that I drink versus something that I have to, what are the ingredients that I have to buy? That Lucky 13 cabbage versus the juice is easier all day, every day. Or in your case, broth. The concept of the broth is actually for the healing of the gut lining. Collagen does that. So if you're noticing that broth alone, the broth in the box to me is nasty. So I recommend adding real butter, grass-fed butter, and maybe sea salt to it, so it's better for the flavor. I also make my own broth. I'll go like grandma style. I'll put the doggone chicken in a pot, and I broil it, and I pour the water out of it, and I'll either eat the chicken or give it to the dogs. But I'd recommend literally adding fat to the broth. If you still don't stomach it, do the shake in its place. So just the reality is, I'd rather you replace it versus gag and puke. So what to get you back on a fast track, do something similar to this 14-day gut-centric plan, and whatever else you're bringing into it that's your own, just make sure you're staying within your caloric allotment. That's a big thing. Good questions.
Hey, Esteban.
Who's this? Anna.
Hannah. I wanted to add something for Olivia. Olivia, I know that I sent you like what I did yesterday with the chicken broth, but correct me if I shouldn't be doing it, Esteban, but I boiled celery, carrots, and I even put a little bit of lentils in it to boil it. I didn't eat the lentils, but the broth got more of like, I don't know, like a texture to it, and it was so good. And it's all I did. So
I wonder if it was good. It was so good.
it was so good.
That's something else that we can do. And I believe I put a video on that in the 14 days. Whenever we consume above 200 degrees, it drastically kills the nutrients in food. And whenever we add water to a lot of the vegetables, it drains the nutrients. However, if we're drinking it, we're getting the nutrients. So that's actually a wise option, Hannah. I'd totally say that. For the average person, I would not recommend doing the lentils. Lentils.
I figured.
There's a protein in it that would actually weaken our gut. So that's a thing. A lot of us have an adverse reaction to that, but not everybody. At the end of the day, you got pretty good results. So I'll leave it at that. But good option with that.
I have one more question since you said I have to have 3. So when we're following like the .fit meal plans, are we, because I know like when I go to each meal plan, there's only like enough for like one day. It just gives you like samples. So I guess do you want us to go off of that, or at this point should we just like be making things that like are within our calorie deficit?
Well, either one. So this is where you get to use as many of the guardrails or training wheels, I'm trying to come up with an analogy, as needed for you to be successful. I've got to follow a meal plan exactly to the T. Got it. I thought Esteban said no bread, so let me replace the bread that's in here and let me bring something else in its place. Or I'm going to Krispy Kreme. As long as I stay below my calories, I'm good to go. The body doesn't quite work that way, but the point is you get to choose, Olivia, to what extent you want to use the guidelines. The main thing is log your food so you know cause and effect over the next 14 days. In all reality, I want us to fall on our face right now, because when we fall on our face, we can hop back on a Zoom call and ask questions, and then we learn from that. There's no, oh man, I failed, I quit, I want to give up. Now it's like, I didn't know that. What the flip happened? Let me ask a question. And then we're going to learn from that to where post this 8 weeks, we can continue to create whatever it is that we want within our bodies. And mine's a big one. They're good questions, Olivia. As always, I can count on you. Thank you. Who's next?
I have a question.
Okay, the girl
Hannah.
down.
Am I unmuted?
No, you're good to go.
Okay. So I've been limiting Brian and I's sugar intake. Well, obviously I've been following the plan, but I went ahead and planned out for like, I gotta stop for a second. I went ahead and planned out for like this week and still like made it to where like we didn't have any like extra sugar intake. But the .fit bars that we have, I ordered a bunch of like the variety, and some of them have a lot of sugar in them. So like, do you have like a suggested like sugar intake? If we want to incorporate those, like Brian, he can spare it, but I don't want to stray away too far.
So for this phase of 14 days, we'll focus on the calories first. A bar is a meal replacement. So I get a bar, and it keeps me from going to Krispy Kreme. It keeps me from ordering Jets Pizza. It keeps me from making a choice that's not going to be as supportive. So a bar is no way, shape, or form equivalent to the food that you ate last week or healthy food. It's a wiser option food.
Okay.
In your case, as lean as you're getting, real food's going to be the best thing, hands down. I would have the bar, like when you're working long days and you don't have the ability to take a break and actually have solid food, then the bar is an emergency sake. So when you leave the club, you don't go into Wendy's and get a big thing of fries and a Frosty. So
Okay.
it's there to save you.
I think it's going to be there for Brian's chocolate cravings more than anything. So
And
we're
that's
good there.
the shake and the bars are literally that. It's a replacement, so I make a wiser option.
Cool. Thank you.
Sure thing. Good question. Couple of you guys, I see the faces moving like you're ready to ask a question. Go ahead and jump in. We got 13 and a half more minutes of questions, and then we get to enjoy some of that sunshine. Keisha's out there like in the sunshine. Well, she's in the shade, but that's good. That'll work.
It's Olivia again. I went
Hi, Olivia.
And you're probably going to say as long as you're within your calorie intake, but I didn't know, like, coffee. Is there a specific, like, what will coffee do if I have like more than 1 or 2 cups a day?
You'll probably ask me 6 or 7 questions instead of 4 or 5. So we're good to go. Coffee is different for everybody. For this plan, again, as long as you're within your calories, the reality is if I have a lot of caffeine, and a lot's different for everybody, I could have adrenal fatigue, and that's beyond what we coach on these 8 weeks. Decaf coffee, for a lot of us, actually has more of an adverse effect than the caffeine. And if we get my favorite macchiato from Starbucks, it's not the coffee that's doing damage to my body. It's all the sweeteners that I'm adding to the coffee that are doing damage to the body. So coffee's a loaded question. Coffee in general, good to go. You guys saw it in the last couple of days of the plan. I'm a fan of that. Almost every morning, I don't make the coffee. My wife makes the coffee, and then she'll put butter in there, and then I put MCT oil, which is a coconut oil. So I've got medium chain triglycerides. I've got grass-fed butter. She stirs that bad boy up, and it's awesome. That's how, whenever I'm at home, that's how I start most of my days. Nothing against coffee. If you have adrenal fatigue, then that's a different thing that we address.
Okay. I have another question.
You must have had 3 cups today.
I'm so sorry, guys.
I did. And I don't know too. So I'm not a breakfast person, and I wasn't sure, like, the meal replacement shakes, are those like a good breakfast replacement, or would you rather us be like eating food?
I love how you answered it with a question. Real food is always superior. When I don't consume real food, what's my other option?
A meal replacement shake.
Oh my goodness. A meal replacement. Yeah. So you answered it. So real food, 100%. And this is why in the custom one, I typically start at the morning with the vegetable juice.
Okay.
If you look at the vegetables that are in one of those 16, 17 ounce juices, it's like 2 to 2.5 plates worth of vegetables. I'm not going to eat that many. Can I drink that many? Sure. So to ensure that I'm getting the nutrients, I start my day off with a cold pressed vegetable juice. If that's not an option, or I'm not going to make solid food, do a shake. That's a wiser option. So going to Hannah's point, it's a wiser option versus skipping a meal and eating my muscle tissue.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if, like, you thought food
Nope.
would be better.
It's a wiser option. Again, I got to pick and choose my battles. So it's good. Good question.
Hey Esteban, that was my question. Actually, the opposite. I struggle with not. I am an egg in the morning person, and as much as I don't mind drinking the juice now, I struggle with not having some protein in me. So, like, would it be an acceptable option to have like 2 eggs and then a cup of the juice?
Absolutely. Yeah. If you go 2 to 4 eggs, you're good to go. The fat from egg is a superfood. I remember it was popular for some time. Take the yolk out and just have the proteins, like the fat. Although yes, it is more calories, we get way more benefits to our body with that. So absolutely, Alex. Good question.
Okay, thank you.
¿Quién más? Sarah, your hand's like on the mute button. Hannah's still rocking it. She's like, I'm gonna hit my calories. Watch me.
Confession, I took pre-workout today for the first time in 3 weeks, and I feel amazing.
You totally feel it. She's like, it's the best thing ever.
It was a new flavor. I couldn't help myself.
That's funny. Good for you. Who else? Who else has a question? Don't be
Oh,
shy.
hey,
If you're
fun.
thinking of it, go, Alex.
I have another one. I bought those flavor packs for the nutrition shakes, and it was terrible. Like, it was. I don't know if anybody else has tried them, but when I went to go look at the ingredients. The first ingredient in them is maltodextrin, and it tasted like I was eating straight like fake sugar. I had to dump the whole shake out and start over again. So I didn't know if you'd try those or if it was just like.
No, it's some people like flavor. There's some companies out there that have 17 different flavors of the protein or meal replacement shakes. So what they decided to do was have packets for that consumer. I'm a vanilla chocolate guy, so I've got zero interest in doing any other flavor outside of the fruits that I put into my shake. Yeah, those are designed for the people that I like Oreo. I like whatever other flavors are out there. So, yeah. Between you and Daryl, try different flavors, and if you don't like it, don't buy them again.
Esteban.
Yes, who's this?
I have some suggestions for the shakes. So I have chocolate and vanilla powder. And my favorite combination for the chocolate is to put a frozen banana. And I have a lot of mint growing outside my backyard.
Of course
I put like 10 or 12. It was there when I moved in. I put like 10 or 12 leaves that I freshly pick every time into that and whirl it up with some almond milk. It's like a milkshake, like a mint chocolate milkshake. And with the vanilla, I add in a little bit of unsweetened coconut flakes with frozen mango or frozen pineapple instead of banana. With the vanilla, it's so good.
Can you share that on the Facebook page? Because that sounds fancy.
Yeah, and I'll take a picture next time I make one.
Of course. You come up with fancy pictures. Speaking of fancy pictures, Julia, can you start taking some of your fancy pictures too?
Yes, I've been a little off the meal plan, so I'm coming back.
Welcome back. Being on a Zoom is really supportive. I mean, it's a great way to start the week, and we're like, I just got my Monday night. I'm good. I'm charged, and let's get back on there. So I appreciate it when you guys are sharing your pictures. We've got 6.5 minutes. I saw somebody chatted besides doing a woo. What's up?
Hey, it's Olivia again. My husband's gonna kill me. Wasn't sure if anyone had any suggestions, like for workout tips. So for me, I travel for work, so I'm in a car like 98% of the day, and then when I get to work, I'm sitting pretty much most of the time. And for me, especially for being close to an Anytime Fitness, the farthest one is 30 minutes away. And by the time I get home, it's like 8 o'clock, 8:30. Wasn't sure if anyone had like any tips on like how to get like a good workout in throughout the day, or because my kids have me up by like 6 a.m. so I don't like getting up before that because I'm exhausted. So I wasn't sure like whether it's just like getting more steps in throughout my day, or if there's like something anyone likes to do to get a workout in at all.
You guys share your experience, and then I'll add a little something at the end.
So I'm Julia, and I use Onnit a lot. So you can go onto their website, onnit.com, and they have every single type of like at-home workout, from like mobility to body weight to like you can buy cool stuff like steel maces or steel clubs. Yeah, I think like for me, the biggest thing that I've learned through my fitness journey is like to have fun and like carry something while I'm doing it. So it could be like weights, a kid, whatever I'm doing, but just like making sure that I'm looking at physical activity as physical activity. Clearly, did I put some iron today? like dancing.
Julia,
or, like,
when do you do that? So that would be because she has access to an app and she has access to toys. So when would you say is a time of the day that you're physically the most successful?
So for me, it has to be before noon or at noon. If it's past noon, like there's no way it's gonna happen. So I either like tell myself I'm gonna wake up, do the squats, and then go for a walk, and then I'm gonna hit my workout, which would be I think like 7 o'clock, 7:30, or I do it like right at lunchtime because then it's like a crucial time of like this is the time I have. But if it's past like lunchtime, there's no way I'm gonna get it done because then I'm lazy for the rest of the day.
I always try and get it in at like my 1 o'clock break, but if like something comes up and I don't get
Olivia.
it, so it just is. Yes.
Suggestion, this is Alex. So I have 2 kids also, and I also work a full-time job and I work from home. So like when I leave my office, it's hard. I don't leave my office because if I do, I get sidetracked on everything else. So there's this app called 7-Minute Women's Workout, and it's literally an app that has hundreds of 7-minute workouts. And I found that what works for me is I'll start in the morning with there's longer ones also. I'll start in the morning with like a 10-minute wake up yoga before I even walk out of my room and get the kids. And then I'll do another 10 or 15, usually like a 15-minute workout at lunch. And then I'll do another 7 or 8 or 10-minute workout like sometime in the afternoon when I feel like I should get up and like get moving. I find for me, like especially during the week, breaking it up makes it a lot easier. And a lot of times, even because they're only 7 or 8 minutes or 15 minutes max, my kids will do them with me because they're really easy and they walk them through, and I just throw it up on the screen because it's an app and it's really easy. My kids are a little bit older, but I found for me breaking it up, especially during the day, is the easiest thing to do with the small chunkable portions.
Awesome.
Hey, Olivia. I got something for Olivia. So you're in my gym tomorrow.
I know,
with
and I
me.
already said I'm working out.
Well, listen, Aaron's not going to be here in the morning. He's coming in the afternoon. So if you want to leave like an hour and a half early, we can do a workout before our shift, or we can do a workout from 1 to 2. And I'll just take you through what I'm doing.
I like that. Because I was supposed to work out with Aaron, but
yeah,
he's not there, so.
Yeah, he has to switch around his schedule, but I can make you a smoothie bowl too.
Oh, fantastic.
Awesome. So I'm gonna jump on board with this train there, Olivia. 2 things that really stood out to me. One was a plan. So there's multiple apps that were shared. What do I get to do? So a lot of times I delay on doing something because I got to stop and think about it. So that's what happens to us with our food choices. When I have something convenient, I get to eat that. So same thing happens with workouts. When I know I have a pattern, to me it's convenient. 2 is, Hannah right there, having that support system. So my invitation to you is, go ahead and unmute this. How many calories does it recommend for you to burn daily?
I think I'm at, okay, I know
Cool.
one of
So
them
you get to figure that one out. So you get to figure that one out first to know that number exact. For
it's either
simple math,
1750 or 2250. I can't remember which one.
it'll only make a pound difference every week. That's all it'll make. So identify that. And what I heard you say was, once I got home, it was challenging because I have other roles and responsibilities. So the invitation is, let's say it's 2,000 calories. The invitation is, I would say before noon, that you've already hit more than 50% of that. So that would be similar to what Julia had said, is I get to burn the most amount, however you decide to do that, in the first part of my day. And if that means you get to work earlier, you do that. And then that's when you burn. If that means you get to do whatever 1,000 steps, 2,000 steps before you leave the house in the morning, you get to do that. So now you get to identify what time frame do I get to hit the certain amount of calories, and how am I going to achieve that? And ideally with you, my invitation is, set up a workout with each club that you're going to go to and say, okay, guys, whoever it is, in tomorrow's case, it's going to be Hannah. Hannah, we're doing 30 minutes, or we're doing 7 minutes like Alex said. We're going to do it, and you max out that 7 minutes or 30 minutes, and you're done. And then each day you're hitting it because you're setting it as a priority in your day versus, I just don't have enough time at the end of the day. Excellent question. We'll go one more question, and then you guys get to go for a walk and post yourself in a walk. Brandy, ask everybody behind you. I love Zoom. All right, last
The cheat
question.
food you mentioned earlier,
What'd you say, Reggie?
the cheat food, so when you have something out of your diet, you said we can make up for it. Is that by taking something out of our diet that day or the next day, or can we do something extra in our workout to burn more calories?
Combination of both. Good question, Reggie. So let's say tonight I have ice cream. I chose to have ice cream. It's my wife and my anniversary. It's really not. I'm just making this up. And I'm over by 1,000 calories. So I could do one of two things. I could keep moving for another 1,000 calories of movement. So it's a balance. Or over the next 48 to 72 hours, I get to burn an extra 300 calories over my goal to make up for what I went over today. So we've got two options. Good, excellent point on that, Reggie. Either I can make up for it that given 24 hours or over the next 72 hours. Is that answering your question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, when it comes to leaning out, that's it. Now, keep in mind the calories are not gut-centric when we just generically look at calories. So can I still consume something and I put on 17 pounds? Yes, because if I have an allergic reaction to it, like for me, it's pasta, it'll do it all day, every day.
You mean bloating?
Yeah,
Or
bloating.
just-
Bloating with inflammation, correct.
Well, kind of another thing that's similar to that. What if we have days where we burn a similar amount of calories that day, but then we have an outlier, like the next day we burn 1,000 more or like 2,000 more? Would that mess up the whole
The more you,
systems of-
as long as you're intaking the nutrients, Reggie, as long as the nutrients are literally coming in, you're going to be fine. If we're starving our body of nutrients, there's going to be an adverse effect. Then that's when the yo-yo dieting happens. And so what I'm doing is I'm starving my body, and it goes into starvation mode, which is survival mode. Then there's a yo-yo effect that'll happen with that. However, if I'm doing my cold pressed juice, if I'm eating whole foods, real fruits, real vegetables, real meats, then I'm intaking the proper nutrients, and I can burn an extra 1,000, 2,000 plus calories. When I would do reality shows, I would have a baseline of them burning 7,000 calories a day and consuming 1,200 real calories. Now, granted, when we left and the producers would put freaking pies and ice cream or whatever to tempt them, it made entertaining reality show, but that wasn't the mathematical design that we had put. Good point. We'll sneak in one more, and then you guys go enjoy your hugs, Courtney. Last question. Somebody's thinking about it. You doing it, Michelle?
So I was plateaued for like the last week or so. I had cheated with, okay, I ate cake for my boyfriend's birthday, like 3 pieces, okay? Then went right back the next day on the plan. Only gained a few pounds. And since then, like it's kind of been slow. Like today was the biggest drop. Right now, I was at negative 20 pounds. Now I'm at negative 19 as of this morning. What do you suggest when you start plateauing? Like when you are eating like spinach and juice and smoothies and all the right things?
Okay, so 2 things, if I may. We'll take away good, bad, healthy, unhealthy, right or wrong. So we'll go with feedback on my body. If we can identify that the last 7 days I did a gut-centric type food, and with you, Michelle, you can look back to when you first started and can identify, okay, when I ate these foods, I dropped 12 pounds of inflammation plus all the other gunk within the first week. Got it. So we'll maintain that. If you can say, I've done that for the last 7 days, at that point, you get to do what Hannah's doing. At that point, what increases it is additional proper focused fitness. In the beginning, it's let me get my mindset. Let me focus on the base foundation of nutrition. Let me get some movement up. Now I'm seeing small incremental changes. It's just not as much as I want to see. Got it. Okay, now what gets a step up is that movement, is the resistance training. It's the high intensity interval training. It's the, am I working with a fitness trainer? It's the, am I doing this type of fitness class? So, good one to finish up. And that'll be the focus this week, guys. It will be, I'll let you finish, Michelle. It'll be mindset and movement. Go ahead.
Yeah, because the only exercise that I've really been doing is walking and running.
So
and
now
a plank here and there.
Yeah, now we get to add some resistance. So we'll get to identify an anytime, because this is an anytime plug. Hello. We'll get to identify a good anytime club near you.
Okay. I have a quick question, just adding to Michelle's thing. So how many times, I know this is like a lot of variety, and there's a lot of things in this question, but how many times a week should we be working out to get the maximum amount of gains? Because like, I've done the whole like 5 days in a row and then I rest, and I could tell I was leaning out, but I wasn't.
How many should you do, Julia?
What?
How many should you do?
Okay, how many could I do?
Stop shitting yourself.
How many workouts could I do to see like effective results? Because I've done like 2 times a week and I've done 5 times a week. And so I'm wondering if you have a suggestion.
You could see great results working out 2 to 3 times a week. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, if you have a timeline where you're like, I want to see results now, could you go up to 5 to 6 times a week? 100% yes. Could you be on a Zoom call and be on an elliptical? 100% yes. Could you be walking around the neighborhood? Yeah. So it really depends on how fast you want to get to that next goal, next objective. That's a good question. That would be a good one for our next coaching call.
Okay.
That's nice. So yeah, it really depends on how fast do I want to achieve this next goal of mine. If sooner, then more. If the time frame is 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down, 2 to 3 times is way more than enough. Just make sure you're hitting your caloric allotment. It's summertime now though, so life is, if anybody knows the answer to this, go ahead. Life is?
No.
Thank you. Thank you. Cool. Awesome, guys. Appreciate you being on. That's it for tonight. Any questions, post it up on Facebook. Everybody will answer. Grab your support team and bring them on board. We had a great amount of people watching and listening tonight, so thank you. You'll see the Zoom calls. I'm putting links on the YouTube channel. So. Hannah, I got no clue how far you're going, but just keep on. Go for it. Run for it. Run.
I went for 30 minutes and I burned 300 calories, so.
Crazy.
This was a great Zoom call.
Night, guys.